Alrighty guys, episode 2 of the Supermoto build. We've just done episode 1, so go check that out if you want to check out the tail tidy and how we did that. But first of all, let's give this thing a wash down because it's quite dirty, even though I've only had it for a few days. Then get it prepped to wrap, and then I'll show you what color we're going to be going with. And that's what you want, nice and shiny. And I'm not going to take these original stickers off because they are pretty flush, they don't stick out much, and the wrap I'm using is pretty damn thick, so you won't even see that going through, so there's no point wrecking the original look, so that way I can just take the wrap off and it'll look stock underneath. Now this isn't my first rodeo when it comes to wrapping a bike. As you can see, I've done the MT09 before, so if you want to watch that video, I'll stick it up here somewhere. That was a pain in the arse to wrap because of the shape of the tank. This should be pretty easy because it's quite flat. Now my only problem that I'm going to be deciding is, do I want to take the plastics off or wrap most of it on the bike and then take the plastic off? Because basically if you put the wrap on a surface that doesn't move, it's very easy to pull it down and stretch it. So half of me is thinking to put the wrap on, get the front bit on anyway, then lift it off and then cut around it and stretch it. I think that might be the main way I'm probably going to go about it. Or I'll just have to take off the plastics and try and do it myself on the floor, which is quite hard because I don't have anything to have any resistance against. But my real problem is going to be this thing in here. So I'm going to figure out if I can find a way to get in there and hide all that, or do I just remove these plastics and swap them out for some black ones in the future. But I'm sure all you guys are wondering what color we're going with. So I forget the color of this actual name, but it is 3M. I'll find it and put it on the screen. We're going to do this to match the MT09. I come up with the idea a few days after deciding that I wasn't going to get a sticker kit. I thought, why not wrap it the same color so it matches, which I think will look very unique. And then I've got a decal guy who I'm going to take the bike to, and then we're going to put our own KTM logos on the side. So I think this thing is going to look badass. All right, I've just cut a piece off, so that's going to go approximately like that. I do have a heat gun as well at hand, which is a massive, massive help when it comes to this stuff, because this stuff is very thick, which is good because you can stretch it, but also kind of a pain in the ass because it's very expensive. So you see how easy it sticks to the bike? It's quite good because you can sort of line yourself up. So I tend to try and find a center line and work out from there. You see what I mean? It's quite, you can give it quite a bit of grunt and it's not going to tear, but you don't want to overwork it. So I'm going to get the heat gun and start shifting this about a bit. So there you go, you see what I mean by the flat starting point, and I can work my way out. And before I forget, I've got one of those squeegee things which will very much help us in a second. And you see you can squeegee most of these out, and a bit of heat will help this as we go. And also bear in mind, I'm by no means an expert, I'm just sharing what I've picked up from my stressful situation of wrapping that MT09. And underneath here is just one little bolt, and this whole plastic will fall off. But what I'm going to try and do is get as much on before that as I can. And in my head, ideally, before I start heating things up and stretching them, I want to get it as good as I can, because the more I can keep the integrity of the wrap without stretching it, the stronger and thicker it should be. That's what my head tells me anyway. So this is where I think the heat gun comes in handy, is when you've got bent surfaces and angled kind of things. So I won't go too hard on this because one, I don't want to melt it and ruin it, and two, there's plastic behind this. And as you can see, it doesn't take much just to heat it up enough just to be able to manipulate it around some of these indentations. So I think that's going to get me to where I want it for now. I'm going to take it off the bike and get it around the edges. Quick update, this is where we're at. I've just decided to stick it back on. This is going to be so good when it's finished. So you can see it looks pretty nice and matte. There are a couple of blemishes, but they will disappear as they go through a couple of heat cycles with the sun and things like that. I think it's pretty damn clean. It's going to look really nice with the offset orange. And I'm not going to lie, that was a pain in the arse. I did have to do that twice because I did actually cut down the seams and it showed the orange. I should have wrapped the whole lot, but in some ways I kind of like the stock backing plate here. So yeah, I'm going to carry on with the rest. I won't bore you too much with that because I'll get frustrated as well trying to do it perfect on camera, and I'll come back when I've got a bit further. Okay, update. This is how we're getting on. This looks so good, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I didn't have as much left over as I thought from the MT09, so I'm just going to get some more wrap in the next couple of days. But I'm going to get wrapped what I can, and then next time I see you guys, I shall see you hopefully with a pretty wrapped bike. Alright dudes, I'll be honest, this is day 2 on the bike. I had to call it a night because it started getting dark yesterday. I started getting tired and I started running out of vinyl. So here's what we got to. You can see I end up wrapping these. I did do both sides. The back is done. So that's where we're at. I have done the shroud around the light, and I did wrap around the back as well so you can't see it from the inside. And I have bit the bullet and decided to go with a black one of these. So I ordered one of these this morning, so just ignore that for the time being. That's going to disappear and go black because this cut in here and things like that is going to be way too difficult for me to wrap and do it properly and do it nice, and it's probably going to cost more in vinyl than it would if I just got a new fender altogether. Plus I want the bottom to be black because I think it will look really strange having everything black and this orange underside. So yeah, that being said, today we're going to be wrapping these blue bits and probably these fork covers here. I did go out and get some more wrap like I said, so hopefully there should be enough to cover it because this stuff is pretty damn expensive. So I'm glad we got to where we got, and now I know what I need. So let's crack onto this and get this thing finished.